MAGA Republican Congress member Max Miller is throwing Donald Trump under the bus. He's throwing MAGA Mike Johnson under the bus, and he's throwing Pete Hegseth under the bus. During a live appearance on CNN when he was questioned by Jake Tapper about the serious allegations against him for abusing his ex-wife, abusing his daughter, abusing other women in his life who have come forward with very serious allegations, Max Miller said, "Look, I'm just doing what Donald Trump did, and I'm not backing down." Remember when Donald Trump didn't back down after all those allegations that were made against him? I'm like Trump, everyone. And by the way, Donald Trump called me up and he said, "Hey, Maxie." That's what Donald Trump, he calls me Maxie. And by the way, MAGA Mike Johnson still has my back. And he said, "You know those needles that were found by my bed?" He goes, "That was just testosterone replacement hormones. I was following Pete Hegseth's guidance." Ooh, these MAGAs are a bunch of frickin' sickos. I want you to watch Jake Tapper question Max Miller here. And Tapper did a very, very good interview right here. Watch Max Miller say, "I'm just doing what Donald Trump is doing. I'm out here like Trump." Here, play this clip.
In 2016, when President Donald J. Trump faced the most extreme allegations in the world that hit him day after day after day, and people in the media, very much like yourself and others, said that he would have no shot at winning, that he should not be the president of the United States. But guess what? He stayed in and he was resilient. And what the American people can see is that they can see that somebody is fighting who is resilient, and that is a quality that the American people cherish. And so for no second am I going to sit here and continue to be debased by false and baseless allegations and be pushed out of a seat I have worked so hard to represent and done a terrific job for our community.
That's the thing. This sick MAGA Republican Party, they are infested with mini Trumps like this who behave in such a sick way. Here, Max Miller says, "Look, I'm just staying in the race because MAGA Mike Johnson has my back. I'm going to remain a Congress member. MAGA Mike loves me." Here, play this clip.
You know, Speaker Mike Johnson, everyone else, they're standing behind me. No one has told me to get off the ballot. And that's because they know I can win this seat and see this through.
And then Jake Tapper asks Max Miller about his call with Trump. And he said he called me up and he was like, "Hey, Maxie, it's going to be a tough race for you. Maxie, what do you think you could do?" And I said, "Mr. Trump, remember when you stood up and remember when you said that was locker room talk, when you said on the Access Hollywood show that you grab women by their genitals, although you use the P word because you're rich and you get away with it. Remember all of that, Donald? We're like each other. We're like the same person." Thank you for reminding people that Donald Trump is a sexual predator, that he was found civilly liable for sexual assault, that he's on audio bragging about sexually assaulting women. That's what happens when you have a sexual predator lead a political party. It becomes a whole damn party of sexual predators. Who do you think they hang out with? Watch what Max Miller says about Trump over here. Play this clip.
Look, he called me and he said, Maxie, it's going to be a tough race. And he said, "I don't know if you're going to be able to, pull this one out." And you know what, Jake? I reminded him of the same resilience that he had when people told him that he was going to struggle in 2016 and he became the 45th president of the United States. And I have the utmost confidence that my constituents back home know me. This race is a home race. This isn't about what the national media thinks. This isn't about what people in California or New York or Florida think about what goes on in Ohio 7. What you're going to see here, Jake, is that I am going to be successful in this November because my constituents know who I am, and they also know who my ex-father-in-law is, and they also know who my ex-wife is. And that's why you've seen people aren't running from me. My numbers in fundraising are strong.
Then Jake Tapper asks Max Miller, "When was the last time that you used illegal drugs?" And Miller was like, I don't know, like several years ago I used those illegal drugs. Oh, those needles, those were testosterone replacement therapy, like Hegseth. Hegseth uses testosterone replacement therapy. I use testosterone. Ben, I don't use testosterone, but he uses testosterone replacement therapy. I mean, aren't these guys who act like, oh, we don't like gender affirming care? Y'all are like the most gender affirming care. Like, anyway, here, play this clip.
And come forward. I don't know how the American people can continue to believe things like this.
When's
and that is also concerning.
When's the last time you ever used illegal drugs? Because you're being
drugs?
Yes, because you're being investigated right now by the House Ethics Committee.
The last time, I would have to say, the last time I had illegal drugs would have been, I don't know, several years ago. I mean, I don't have a time frame on it, but I don't use illegal
20?
drugs. No, Jake, this is what they're doing, okay? This whole, needles thing, this is testosterone replacement therapy. People are painting this as something that it's not. Secretary Hegseth, who is the Secretary of War just 3 weeks ago, allowed our entire military, who are males, to take testosterone replacement therapy. That's what I was doing. I have not been using any illegal drugs. This is nonsense, and this is much more of how Mr. Moreno and and my ex-wife are continuing to put this stuff out there.
Well, I think it's because there are three women I think it's because there are 3 women that have alleged violence. I don't think any of this is actually about illegal drugs at all. I think it's because 3 women have alleged violent behavior by you, and 2 of them are fairly high profile on the record.
But Jake, once again, the one part that I am never going to back down from and that the American people need to continue to look at is number 1.
Then Max Miller said, look, if these allegations against me were true, these really, really disturbing allegations for abusing my ex-wife and abusing my daughter, if they were true, don't you think I should be arrested? Okay, I don't think that's off the table. I don't know. I mean, you could still be investigated. There should still be. Are you daring people to arrest you? I'm giving my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? Here, play this clip.
I am never going to give up. And what I mean by that is my daughter's going to grow up one day and she's going to see all of this. And she's not going to see that her father caved to political and social media pressures for something that he never did. And furthermore than that, there are more than 50% of the people within this country who are divorced. And men get a really bad shake when it comes to family court. And it's not addressed enough in any way possible. And so here's what I can tell you is that I've received more support than ever from our community, from the people where I live. And that is why we are going to stay in this race and be successful. And you're right. The allegations, they're incredibly troubling. I agree they're troubling, but if they were true, I'd be in prison. And there's the only reason out of myself and other Republican colleagues that I'm the only one that doesn't have an active investigation into it. And so at the end of the day, I let the truth speak for itself, and the truth is right there. And I will never, ever, ever let my baby girl see her dad walk away as a quitter. I will continue to finish this, and if I have to run all the way to the end and I'm not successful, Jake, then that's a decision that I decide to make, and I can hold my head way up high knowing that I fought for the truth no matter what circumstances and no matter what came my way every single day, that Ruthie Miller will know that she's proud of her dad who bears my last name.
And by the way, earlier today, it should also be noted that the lawyer for Max Miller's ex-wife, who happens to be the daughter of Bernie Moreno, a MAGA Republican senator from Ohio, what webs they weave, said that Max Miller, in doing a video and photo dump of to try to attack his ex-wife, released photographs of their little girl not dressed. And then Max Miller's lawyer responded that it was like an inadvertent disclosure of it, and they didn't see that their little baby girl was naked in it. And then his ex-wife is like, you just posted naked photos potentially of our little girl in front of, that was viewed millions of times. What are you doing? So then MAGA Republic, this is the Republican Party. This is what they've become. This is everywhere about them. Then you have Senator Moreno, the ex-father-in-law to Max Miller, said the following. Let's play it.
Truly the 7th level of hell. This has been a horrific experience for my entire family. My daughter lives in constant fear of this man. Not something that's existential, but deeply in her heart, she fears what this guy is capable of. You can't fathom what that makes me feel like. when the dad's number one job is to protect your kids. This has been brutal beyond comprehension. And if there's any minimum standard for being an elected official, as I said, he fails to meet that minimum basic standard. I don't care about the politics at all. Don't think about it. Doesn't enter my consciousness.
More from Max Miller over here, who attacks his ex-wife for, he said, when I was reported for child abuse, for breaking the collarbone of my daughter, she was in my ex-wife's care. She was in the emergency room, and that was a contempt violation of our shared parenting plan. So you're saying that your ex-wife violated your shared parenting plan and engaged in contempt for taking your daughter to the hospital when your wife says, the ex-wife says she did it because you broke your daughter's collarbone? And this is what you're saying. You're like Trump. This is the Epstein class, everybody. They're saying we're all friends. We all hang out together. Here, let's watch this. This is sick. Here, play this clip.
Though, right? The issue is, the one I asked you about is, did you hold this doll hostage? Because that is emotionally abusive behavior.
Mr. Tapper, no. And just to further more than that, there have been 2 investigations that have already been looked into me. And I would like to just have a little bit of moment to explain. The first investigation that was looked into me was that my ex-wife, Emily Moreno, filed a report of child abuse against me. That first incident, 2 individuals were held liable for abusing my daughter at a daycare, which I have a private settlement agreement from. I was found not guilty. They looked at my fingerprints. They made me take off my shirt. They made me look at my body to make sure that I didn't abuse my daughter. And that was number 1, Mr. Tapper. Number 2, when I was reported for child abuse for my daughter for a broken collarbone, my daughter was in my ex-wife's care 9 out of the last 11 days, and she took her to the emergency room, which is a contempt violation from our shared parenting plan. Furthermore than that, Mr. Tapper, is this. These matters have already been looked into. Ms. Moreno has already gone to the police. The police are not investigating it. Ask yourself, why aren't they investigating these things? You see yourself, I am not getting any special treatment.
And then Jake Tapper's like, yeah, but like you understand that you've been accused by multiple women. Your ex-wife, but then your girlfriend, Stephanie Grisham, before that, who was in the White House, then another girlfriend of yours. Everyone is, they're all saying it. Like you do realize that. Here, play this clip.
But you understand that the reason that this is a story is because it's not the first time a woman that you've been intimate with has accused you of violence and abuse. That's the reason. Now, it has nothing to do with political vendettas. It has nothing to do with Senator Marino. It has to do with the fact that there are 2 women on the record and a third who has talked to reporters or a reporter about what happened in high school.
And all I can tell you is this, Jake, is that I hope that you and the rest of the media do the same amount of digging as you are into me, as you will into those other 2. Because as you can see right now, and I understand I'm the member of Congress, so deservedly so, the spotlight, the attention, the media. But throughout this process objectively, how come people aren't asking the tough questions out of them? I mean, it's been a free runway of just me being a punching bag without articulating my points and presenting the evidence that we have here today and others.
They're not accused of physically abusing you. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Well, Jake, I got to tell you, in this country, due process is a thing, and everyone is entitled to it. And once again, I have been absolved of these claims that you continuously are bringing back up, especially the most recent one with Ms. Moreno. Once again, the Department of Child and Family Services and Bay Village Police Department took her report. They investigated everything that she said, both the Bay Village Police Department and both Child and Family Services. And you can see right now, I'm not getting any special treatment, Jake. Okay. So if I really did those things, why wouldn't I be in prison? It's because it's an extreme fabrication of the truth. And you look, at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to push. I am going to win this race, and my daughter will see that her father is going to be back in there. And then when we come back next term, my hope is you and I can have other conversations that will be a lot better than this about how we can move our country forward.
And then Miller's like, but I'm never going to back down. Just like Donald. I'm never going to. And then Jake Tapper's like, but you sued Stephanie Grisham and then you backed down. No, I didn't. I settled. Here, play this clip.
2 of them are fairly high profile on the record. women.
Jake, once again, the one part that I am never going to back down from and that the American people need to continue to look at is number one, I have had 2 full investigations that lasted almost a year into these child abuse allegations and into these domestic abuse allegations, okay? And I have.
You say you'll never back down from it, but you sued Stephanie Grisham for defamation and then you backed down from that suit, right?
No, that's not true. There was a settlement agreement. And so I would love to talk to you about that, but I can't. And so, but I didn't back down from that. And it was settled. And there's a reason for that. And that's all I can say regarding it.
Let me ask you.
But if you're
And then Jake Tapper's like, but you do realize that it's a tall order for voters and your colleagues and everybody watching to believe that the 3 women are all like lying. Like, that's your position. Here's what he says. Play this clip.
And I just named 3 people that are providing firsthand testimony. That's not hearsay. But do you realize what it is in terms of how tall an order it is for voters and your colleagues and everybody watching right now to believe that 3 women who don't know each other made up accusations of you being violent and you are telling the truth here, they are lying. That is a difficult thing for people to believe, right?
No, not in this instance, because every single one of these things that you're brought up, unlike other candidates throughout the country, I've already had investigations into. The domestic abuse allegation that you're referring to against my ex-wife, Department of Child and Family Services already reviewed that, and they viewed that nothing happened. Bay Village Police Department, Miss Moreno filed the police report. The prosecutor looked at it. They looked at it for a very long time. There was nothing there. My case is much different than everyone else that has been laid out before. Yes, I have tangible evidence, and I have also had investigations that have cleared me of every single thing you have mentioned, except to be clear.
Let's talk about this, because in the custody...
And then let me share this with you, Donald Trump. Here's what he has to say about Max Miller. Let's play it.
You were asked yesterday whether Representative Max Miller should resign from Congress of the allegations, and you said that you'd have a look at it.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? And also, do you...
Well, it's a very sad thing. I know Max. He's a good person. I mean, I always thought he was a very good person. And I'm going to let the families figure that out. You know, those families, I know they're working on it. It's a very sad thing, especially when you know somebody so well, to be going through that. But it's accusations, and I'm going to let them figure that out. Yeah, please.
There you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Get your copy of WTF America. Pre-order it right now. It's the book I wrote with my brothers. Hit the QR code. We'll also have a link in the description below. Thanks, everybody.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.